Ladies, gentlemen, and pirate folk alike, welcome back to Treasure Theory. We had to throw in a cringy little intro there to keep your attention, but guys, today, Christmas has come early because I've been having lots of people ask me to do a deep dive on SPs in the One Piece TCG, talk about my thoughts about it, look at the price, and of course, we're going to be doing that today. And I thought that we'd also look at some SPs that are undervalued, kind of go into a little bit of a, investment sort of conversation about all this stuff, and so much more. But guys, before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We hit 4,500 subscribers. Thank you all so much. Can we hit 5,000 before the end of the year? That would be super awesome. I really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. And of course, I'm now affiliated with cardtrader.com. If you want to get your cards securely, be sure to click the link down in the description below. Get some cards, use my code Treasure Theory, get 5% off your first order. And without any further ado, let's get into the video. So for all the newcomers out there who are overwhelmed by the One Piece TCG, and rightfully so, because there's so much going on here, let's just quickly describe what the whole SP scene is. So there are a ton of different chase cards that you can go after in the One Piece TCG. You could get Treasure Cup cards, which are basically trophy cards that are only given out to people who win tournaments, which is super cool. There is the manga cards, which of course are the ultimate chase cards from pack openings and all that sort of stuff. And then of course there's like serialized cards, which are like a whole other thing, incredibly rare to come by. Chances are if you're ever going to get one, you're going to have to pay a hefty price. But I would argue the next best thing to all of that stuff are the SPs. So SPs, which stands for special prints, they're pretty difficult to come by. I believe per case, and per case there are 12 boxes. There's 2, I think, per case. But yeah, they're very difficult to come by. What is that, a 1 in 6 chance? But regardless, guys, there are a variety of SPs. And honestly, it can be very overwhelming because there's just so much going on in here. And we're just going to really take a deeper look at what I think is worth looking at, what is doing well. And of course, I'm also going to show you some SPs that I think are currently undervalued. But let's start off with the Monkey D. Luffy wanted poster. So guys, when these guys first came out in OP09, which by the way, I know there were previous wanted posters, but I honestly think they're garbage. That's my opinion. I do not like them. I don't like the look of them. But I think that OP09, when they made these wanted posters, this is when they nailed it on the head. My first box, I pulled the wanted Blackbeard, so that was pretty cool. But as we can see here, guys, in the last 3 months alone, this card has gone up 96%, which is absolutely incredible. And, taking a look at, latest sales, I mean, guys, this card is being sold for quite a hefty price. And this is raw, by the way. Although we've got market price of $364, I've definitely been seeing people selling this $600, $700, $800. And this is US, by the way. So this is a really expensive card. Now, obviously, out of all the wanted posters that we've got here, this is doing the best right now. And guys, it's very obvious. It's Luffy, okay? Luffy is just the main character. Luffy's going to do well, but we can't forget that this pre-errata Ace wanted poster has caused quite the stir because with OP13, which is currently the latest set from Wave 1 now, which I believe we're already out of, they basically had an error printed on this wanted Ace, which made it super valuable to the community, and you can see that this card has gone up quite a lot. I'm seeing this card sell for about $700-800 Canadian on local Facebook markets that I'm on, so I do think this price is quite accurate. And, it's the pre-errata kind of card, and people love that stuff, so it does really enhance the value. And it's funny because I thought the Gold Roger card was going to be the top one, and I think it would have, but I think the Ace did win that because of the pre-errata error. So that's super cool, but let's continue. So guys, obviously the holy grail of SPs, if you ask me, is definitely the Gold SP Luffy from OP11. I think OP11 is a super underrated sealed box if you're going to invest it and hold it. We can see this card's only really gone up about 10%, but I mean, this is a super expensive SP, okay? Most recent sale, almost $4,000 US. I mean, these are absolutely insane prices. And guys, I mean, we all knew this card was going to explode. When it first came out, people were trying to sell this for about $2,000, and since then, it's just continued to go up and up and up. And don't even get me started on PSA 10s and stuff like that, which, by the way, we're just going to put a blanket statement and say that, although we're looking at raw cards in this video, any PSA 10 of these is obviously great. If you happen to have some and you submit it and you get a PSA 10, you're laughing, because they're great cards, and I think they're going to do well long term. But, you know, I do also think that as much of a grail as this card is, most people cannot afford this card. But I think if you can snag it, or you pull it, or you can get a good deal for it, maybe get it now while you can. God only knows where these prices are going to go in the next couple of years. But I do think, because it's a Gear 5 Luffy, it is the gold, not the silver. I do think this is obviously the chase, the grail that you want to get. So do what you will with your money, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So obviously there's so much more going on here. We've got another Luffy SP that recently came from OP13 as well. And OP13 is like a fantastic set. There's so much going on in there, the God packs, the red mangas, and all that sort of stuff. But, of course, we're focusing here on the SPs. And, you know, I actually happened to pull this Luffy, which was super awesome. And it's a gorgeous-looking card. It really is. And it's totally deserves its place in the SP realm. And in terms of its price as well, we can see it's jumped up $124. I'm actually really shocked how expensive this card has gotten. I saw some people trying to sell it for $200 Canadian, and now, I mean, the card is being sold for $280 US, which is absolutely insane. I think this is a really beautiful card, and, you know, it's got Luffy on it. So I think anything with Luffy is a pretty decent bet. Not every card that's got Luffy on it is going to do well, but this is an SP. It's a special print, and it looks super nice. And I think the gold and kind of like the corner there on the left with the change in the, like the border is really nice as well. But really good card. If you have this card, you're laughing. Get a PSA 10 of this card, and you're going to be laughing straight to the bank, okay? Straight up. Let's move on. So, again, the SPs are just absolutely gorgeous. And if you can get your hands on any of these super awesome, beautiful designed cards like the Zorojuro here, it's just going to be great. I think this is a really good card to invest in, hold. You know, all of them are really nice. I mean, like, look at this. This ace is beautiful. You know, the Namis are crazy. I actually happened to get this. Somebody actually was selling this card for about $300, and I happened to get it in a tag, which I know isn't like that popular, but guys, like getting this card in a tag 10, I mean, beautiful card. I think it was a great deal. But anyways, straight up, we can see the Zoro's gone up 116% over the last 3 months. Most recent sale was $500. I mean, holy crap, man. It's absolutely insane what's going on with the One Piece TCG right now. You know, I thought the BOA, which is, where are you? Right here. The BOA has obviously exploded in price, and, you know, we can see why. It's a great looking card, but this card has gone up. I mean, most recent sales are almost going up to $700, which is absolute insanity. But, I mean, straight up, like, these SPs are super gorgeous. I also recently got an Enel tag 10 as well. And, I mean, like, look, guys, obviously PSA 10 or Beckett's or all that stuff, you know, they're like the holy grails of grading. But I'm just happy to get these cards at solid prices. And, honestly, if you can get a cheap tag slab of an SP, I totally recommend you do it because they're fantastic. But that's not financial advice. This is also coming from a guy who really likes to collect. So, but I do think these SPs are fantastic to get. I do think they're going to keep going up. Now, some of them are going up quite high. I think if you can get stuff like this Luffy and maybe this Zoro, because I mean, Zoro, you know, I do think they're going to do well over time, but, you know, God only knows what's really going to happen with these prices. And, I mean, like, look at this. Look at this ace right here. I mean, this ace is fantastic. I would say it's still a good price, $140, $160. Pretty good. A gorgeous card. And, I mean, you know, who wouldn't want that next to this, the Luffy version as well? And, of course, Sabo's really nice as well, but nobody really cares about Sabo because, unfortunately, he's just not relevant enough yet, or I don't know. I think Sabo is going to probably explode down the road, but anyways, let's continue. So we've also got these beautiful SP cards that are like kind of illustrating a moment in the One Piece TCG, and this card alone has probably been one of the top illustration kind of looking SPs out there, and this has been ongoing for a while. I mean, OP07, God, that, like, I can't even remember the last time I even seen an OP07 anywhere. And this card has slowly gone up, you know, it's gone up 65%, which, I mean, it's a beautiful, gorgeous card. It's really cool. You know, it takes place during Wano and stuff like that. We can see people are selling this card for about $400 US, but market price is saying $250. I would say it's somewhere in the middle. Really, really gorgeous card. We've got this, I'm not a big fan of this card, but, you know, this was a treasure rare from Wings of the Captain. This has gone up 168%. Treasure rares are sort of becoming a weird new thing for the One Piece TCG. They are very hard to come by. Supposedly there's only one per case. So, who knows? Maybe there's something I'm missing here, but this one is going up in price, so who knows? And again, I would say Boa is probably one of the top SPs. She's got the waifu tax. You know, she's a interesting character. People love Boa. And I think the card is awesome. I mean, like, the blue, the red, it's just a gorgeous card. And I can only imagine how that's going to look, you know, when you're looking at that in the sunlight, you know. Also, don't put it in the sunlight, but put it in some light. You don't want to bleach the card. But if you have this card, it's worth a lot of money. Am I telling you to go blow $1,000 on this card? No. I mean, I don't think every card right now is going to moon. It's really hard to say. I mean, like, when cards start going up in price like this, and like this isn't a manga or anything, I do wonder. But the thing is Boa does seem to have some kind of cult following, because we've got this SP here from OP04, which has also steadily gone up in price. And fun fact, I literally have every one of these freaking cards, all in PSA 10s, but the Boa. So I'm just, you know, I'm kind of raging a little bit about that. But I think this is a really nice card. I've seen this card selling for about $700. Insane. Not even a PSA 10, by the way. Just raw, which is crazy. But Boa is just, you know, I guess she's the queen of waifu tax in the show, just like Nami, you know. And by the way, the disrespect. Where are the Robin SPs, man, like this, like with these backgrounds? The disrespect is crazy. But anyways, let's continue, guys. So let's just look at a couple of SPs that I think are currently undervalued right now that I do think, you know, may have a chance of going up. Now, I do want to preface by saying that, you know, usually the characters really kind of dictate the price because, you know, top characters are going to obviously do better than characters nobody cares about. And a great example of that would be Queen. So Queen, the price is going up, but the card is really low right now. But hey, if you can get any of the cheap SPs, get them. Because, I mean, seriously, $40, $40, $50. I actually recently got this card off a friend. It is a really nice card. I think all SPs are going to be great. And thankfully, there are SPs that are still cheap, which is great. So maybe snagging some of these cheap ones is a good idea. But as we can see, this Queen SP is really, you know, it's really low. It's really cheap right now. But it is going up. So this could change soon. So this might be worth buying. Same with Moria. Moria from Two Legends. I mean, this card's about $40. I also have this card. It's a really nice card. But again, these characters are just not that popular. I mean, obviously compared to Boa or Nami, I mean, like, these cards literally do not get the credit they deserve because they are just not really, you know, they're not sexy, okay? They're not sexy characters. But anyways, there you go. We've also got this Charlotte Pudding from the PRBO2 set. Now, I want this card really bad, and it's really expensive, okay? This card is pretty expensive. It's like $250 right now, which is a little high, but in the same breath, it's cheaper compared to all these other SPs. But it's a beautiful card. I love the tape, as you know. Pudding, she extracts memories. She can, you know, so it's cool to see that that's like in detail, and you can see like Big Mom there. Really nice card. It's currently selling for about $200, $250. But I do think this is a really nice card. I think it's a good card. I think it's going to go up. And it's a PRBO2 card. And as you know, PRBO2, PRBO1, they do not print many of those. So great card, great chase card. Totally recommend. Now, I think there is a big thing going on here that is being overlooked. I feel like Blackbeard is not getting the attention he deserves. He is literally going to be one of the main villains of the show. We know this. We know what's coming. And yet it's like the community isn't really seeing it. I think Blackbeard is totally underrated. I think he's going to have a big part in the end of One Piece. And I think that right now he is a very underrated character. We can see that the gold SP here of Blackbeard is below $1,000. And, you know, from the OP12 set, this was basically the chase card, okay? Because the Bonnie manga card, I mean, I don't know. Bonnie's all right, I guess, but Blackbeard, the gold SPs, and not to mention, you know, we've got the Shanks SPs now from OP13. They've announced Buggy version in OP14 with a gold and silver. So I think having these cards in your collection, maybe investing in them, is good. I do think these are good holds, and the card has already crashed 38%. I mean, like, 38% is pretty decent, especially in, what, 6 months. So I do think that this card's underrated, and obviously the silver cards are even cheaper, but, you know, obviously the gold card is the chase card. And also, this Rebecca card. This card is also from PRBO2. I also have this card. It's a super nice card. You can see it's crashed down in price. It's now around $88, $90 US. But guys, take it from me, really pretty card. You know, some of these cards from the PRBO2 set had like almost like some gold texturing going on the cards, which is really cool and made them look really nice. I do think, you know, people who were a fan of Dressrosa and Rebecca would go after these cards. But overall, guys, you know, there's still so many other SPs we could look at. You know, the sky is kind of the limit here. Obviously, looking at the new Shanks from OP13, we can see it's crashing. It's, wow, the most recent sale was $1,000. So I do think as the reprints for OP13 are coming out, obviously it is kind of tanking the card a little bit, but I do think we'll see a rebound. You know, just like with the Luffy card, we will see it kind of pick up again, I do think. But overall, guys, there are so many cards we could look at for One Piece, but we're not going to cover all the bases. That's just kind of like a rough step into the space. I do think SPs are fantastic, and I do think they're more affordable than the manga chase cards and the treasure cup cards and all that sort of stuff. So honestly, guys, do your own homework with this. But I do think if you're looking to invest in the space, I do think it's definitely worth getting a couple of these cards. If you can get them raw, even better, because I'll be real with you, buying PSA cards or Beckett's or whatever is, you know, going to be a lot more expensive. And if you can get the card in good condition and submit it yourself to get it graded, I mean, even better. But anyways, guys, there you have it. That is the video. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Hope this was helpful, and video should pop up on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.